Okay, so I mixed up a little bit more milliput and went ahead and started filling in some of these pock marks that were still there, some of the air bubbles. I sanded it down first, made sure it had a good clean surface, and it looks like as long as all this is dried by tomorrow, I can take it outside. This is supposed to be in the mid to upper 70s tomorrow, and I got those two cleaned up, or filled up rather. And yeah, after I sand this down and wipe it off, I can hit it with some more of the Rustoleum Primer, so I don't have to worry about mixing primers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down, and once I get up in the morning and have some coffee, I will go ahead and hit this with some fine sandpaper and take it outside. As long as it's nice and dry outside, I can go ahead and prime it up. So should be ready for some actual base colors in a couple days for me, and maybe a couple of frames or shots for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to this, make sure I'm not missing anything, and I'll see you in the next scene. Alright, so the weather is more than cooperating. Got a beautiful day. I have got my Rustoleum Primer here. The nice thing here is that the entire model can be primed with one specific primer. I don't have to mix primers. Yeah, it's a little windy, but it's hitting it where it needs to. Get his head blue tack down. I got most of his head done already, so that's a plus. Probably gonna have to do a little bit of light sanding after everything dries, just because I think the wind is making it atomize a little bit differently here, but could be just mumbo jumbo. Yeah, looking good. So let's see. A little bit there to get that undercut in there. It might be too close to the can, but the way the wind is right now, I don't want it to just blow away. Alright, so I will let this dry, and yeah, we'll get on with it. I'm actually thinking about messing around with this collar next, so I can have that ready to go, and we will be right back. Okay, so K9 is completely primed. I had a fantastic day today. It was a nice 77 degrees. I was able to get out and hit all the undercuts and all the areas that I didn't get a chance to prime earlier with the Rustoleum Primer. So I'm going to put him off to the side for a little bit, and I'm going to start working on this collar. The little tartan cover here, it comes way bigger than you need it. So in the instructions, it basically tells you to cut it down to size. It says that an experienced model maker should take a sharp hobby knife, and you shouldn't really use scissors. I'll see what I can do with it. What I did was figured out with the calipers, I got 23/64 here. Putting it down on the cutting mat here, cutting mat's not completely, let me find one that's, it's not completely as precise, but the closest I have here is just over 3/8. So I think what I'll do is I'll use that. I have to get this on here, get this on there, cut it down to, well, actually cut it down to size first, and then I'll take some sandpaper, rough this up, and then using some E6000, there you go, I'll attach the fabric to the plastic. The edge that you'll see, the one that'll go right there. I'm just going to do a black rim on that. The other side, which you won't see, I'm not even going to worry about. And then after all that's glued down, I'll go ahead and get the little dog tag. I'll glue that in place. Basically the instructions just tell you to glue it on each side instead of trying to like wind it or try and get like a little tiny clasp on there or something. There'd be no way I'd be able to do that. That's too small. So it's I'm going to go ahead and start working on getting this sanded down, and then after that's done I'll see if I can put together some sort of a jig that I can mount this to, get the 3/8 on there, and then just zip it through with a brand new blade on the hobby knife. And then yeah, I'm just trying to get some of these other smaller parts done while the primer is curing here. And after that we should be able to start airbrushing. Like I said, I'm going to go with this Vallejo model color gunmetal gray. I'll see what that looks like after. I mean, it always looks a touch different after, like from bottle to the actual model. When it atomizes in the airbrush, it changes the look slightly. So it might be a little bit darker than I thought it was. It might be a little lighter than I thought it was. But we'll see what that happens when it comes time. So, all right, I'm going to get back to work on this. And I'm just going to add this in here real quick. I laid the cloth down on the cutting mat just because I wanted to see whereabouts, if I line this up as close as I could, where the closest to 23/64 would be. And it's actually, there's your we get your 3/8 right there. It's then the 23/64 is just past that. So I'm going to actually use this white line as my cutting line. So I'll just grab the I'll grab some kitchen shears, since they're a little bit more a little stronger than my regular scissors, and I'll just go ahead and use that as my guide. So hopefully that works out. Okay, figure might as well just film this, because I'm sure it's riveting to watch me cut fabric. And like I said, there goes a cord. The instructions actually said just use a hobby knife, don't use scissors. Maybe so somebody can give me some insight as to why they said that. Seems to be cutting a little pretty quickly here, pretty easily. So I was actually just watching a Doctor Who episode with K9 in it. It was his first. It was The Invisible Enemy. I always loved the team of the Fourth Doctor, Leela, who is she was basically a savage, and K9. As much as I love Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith, that particular crew really did it for me. They were one of my favorites. There. Now actually I have to cut this down a little bit as well, because even though this, let's see, yeah, it's a little smaller on there. So what I'll do is I'll glue this. I'll start at one end, glue all the way around, and then with the leftover I'll tack it in that one spot. Then this part here I'll go ahead and just cut that down a little bit so I could put the that buckle on there. So, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and might as well just do it here while I'm filming it. My sandpaper here. Oh, jeez. Never again. Alright, the only reason I'm going to rough it up is because I want a good bite for the glue. Just so I'm not trying to glue it on slick plastic like that. At least there's, by roughing it up, the glue should hold a little bit better. And I looked it up before I started messing with this. Some glues that give a good bond to fabric going on plastic. Loctite had one, but I really don't want to have to place an Amazon order just for one thing, that when I wanted to start working on this today. That should be good. I like that. Alright, I'm going to grab some black paint, and I wonder if I should prime this. Decisions. No, I'm just gonna. I'll use some of the surface primer I have. I'll hit the top of this. Then I'll get some black paint on there, and then I'll glue the fabric onto the edge there. Yep, not that one. That one. Okay, I'll be right back with that. Alright, I'm just going to hit this with the Stynylrez Black. Give it a good shake. I got some ball bearings in there because this thing does settle after a while. I also like to start from upside down sometimes too. So let me just go. I only need a little bit, so I'm just gonna. It's probably more than enough right there. Don't need a good brush because all I'm doing is just hitting this edge here. most of it, that, yeah, staying camera done. Most of which you're not even going to see, but I'll go and get a little bit on the inside here too. And this is just the primer. This isn't the final coat of paint that's going to be on here. So, alright. Riveting. Yeah, I just want to have a base in case I know that the cloth isn't going to go, it's not going to wrap around, but it'll go right up to the edge, so at least there'll be something solid on the base of it there. So, all right, don't want to waste time watching paint dry. So, next scene. Okay, so I'm using an old junk brush here just to brush on the E6000 onto the plastic or the resin collar here. I didn't want to just put it on big glops. Picked a brush that I will not miss after I get done with this and throw it away. Just want to get that like nice and smooth. And the my E6000 here it's not a newer tube, so it's taking its time to get out of the that stage where it's kind of like hardened up at the top. I've got Mr. Nail here. I was poking in there to try and open that up. But when I looked online, most of the responses I got to like the best way to adhere fabric to plastic was E6000. There was a Loctite one that that was mentioned, had more responses than this, but I figured, well, I've already got this, so I might as well use it. I just need a little bit more there. Yeah, this stuff's almost, I wouldn't doubt it's almost solid in here. I got this a few years back when I was getting back into like crafting and like crafting terrain, and my fear is I'm going to push on this and it's going to squirt all over the place. But if it works, it works. Looks like old paint is coming off from this brush too. Okay, so let me put this down here. Well, actually, I'm going to throw that away. And look at that. Our doggy's got a collar. I'll probably put a little, yeah, that's not even moving. I might need a longer piece of wire to shoot down there. I'll go a little bit further on here, and then I'll leave the rest hang because I still have the buckle I have to put on there. But yeah, it was a little easier than I thought it was going to be. But then again, I mean, the last time I looked at trying to start this kit was probably about 15 years ago. So, okay, on to the next part. Okay, if you hear the noise in the background, it's my furnace that's kicked on. I got the buckle taken off the photo etch tree, and I filed that down. There's just a little spot right around there where it was attached. I have some painter's tape here. Stick that down, I'll get it primed and paint it up, and then we will go ahead and get it onto the collar here. I had to shave down a little bit more on that side so the width would go through the buckle. But once I get that in place, I'm going to super glue that down so that just a little bit of that's going to be hanging over. So I won't even have to worry about painting I've got a little bit of fabric on there. I won't have to worry about painting the underside of that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of and fix my camera. And then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so I have pulled up a reference picture. I've got the two marks on the side of his head, which there's nothing on the actual kit itself, so I got one right there, and I'm just eyeballing it because I've found that not every picture I can find of canine online or even in my own reference material, not all of them have these, so I think it's just one of those things where some versions of the model had it and some didn't. But I want to add them in there for a little bit more realism. And all I'm doing is just getting a little bit sunk in there. Oops. Probably help if I put a little bit more pressure. Yeah, I've got the one there. And like I said, I didn't measure anything or pull out any kind of measuring devices. Just trying to get a little bit extra detail on them there. And then I'll just put a little bit of primer on each one of those before I give him the base coat, and he will be all set there. I have to do this side, and then there's actually one on the back of his head as well. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. And I might have to put a little bit of putty in there. Got a little bit of scratch from where my drill jumped on there. But yeah, I will go ahead and take care of that, and yeah, be on to the next step there. Alright, so the little pilot screw holes there are drilled. This one here I moved over, so there's a little bit of plastic putty right there. Once I give it the base coat, I will go ahead, well actually I'm going to put a little bit more primer on there, make sure it's smooth, and then I'll give it the base coat. And I've got the one on the back there. The collar, I took that photo etch piece and I hit it with some primer first and put some Citadel lead belcher on there for the metallic look. It's not looking bad when it's when everything's put together. You got them right there. And we raise the camera up a little bit so I can get a wider shot here. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. I tried to fabricate something for the handle here. using some of those photo etch scraps, and then I actually tried to use some I had some styrene strips, but it didn't work out, so I'm just gonna paint it. If I find something I can use later on down the road, I could always add to it. But yeah, he is getting there. Really happy with how that turned out. I think out of this entire build, this was the thing I was worried about the most. That and the ears, because the ears, as much as they look really nice as photo etch, yeah, I'm looking for them, and they're right here. I want to have something that you can actually see through. I did try to drill some holes through these, and it eventually made it through, but it took a while. So I'm actually going to, let's see, where is it at here? I have a damaged splatter shield that I'm just going to cut out some new ears, and then for the posts, I'm just going to take some CA glue and glue some strips of appropriately sized paperclip wire, and then that way I can bend them and get them in there, and it should look a little bit more realistic than the original photo etch ears. Not that these aren't bad, I just want to go with a little bit more realism. So I'm actually going to start working on these next. I just have to cut a piece of that broken splatter shield and make some templates and get them cut out. I still have to, actually what I'll do is, before I work on that, I'll cut off his dog tag, do the same thing like I did with the buckle. I'll prime that, paint it up, and then yeah, that's just a matter of putting it on the chain and supergluing the chain onto the inside of his collar. So we are getting there. My dog's almost done. Okay, so here is where we are as of right now. I've got that little nick and a dirty fingernail. That little nick filled in there. I'm going to put a little bit more on there. I've got the hole drilled on the back. Canon's collar's ready to go. I started working on these mesh replacements. The only problem is that they bend like this, and I really don't have. Yeah, there you go. Which I figured that this might be a problem. They're starting to unstrand, or unwind rather. Plus they don't really hold their shape. I'm not sure if I could put some like glue down or something, but yeah, they're not looking good. So back to the originals. I am not going to drill these out though. I have a couple that are in the very back there. Focus, there we go. You won't be able to see those when I put them on here after I paint them, but I'm going to go ahead and get them painted or primed first, painted, and then get those ready for insertion after the base coat is put on. I took some of the paint off the inside and off the back so I can get a clean bond with those two. I also took a Q-tip with some acetone, took off the primer there, had an acetone spill, and made a nice little permanent mark in my cutting mat. So things happen. That's why you have to be careful with acetone. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more putty on, let's see, this side's good. Well, I'll check it with the prime, see if I have any prime crimes. I know I have to fill this one in just a little bit, so I'm going to do that now, and then after it's dry, I'll put a little bit of surface primer on there and see where we're at. But yep, he's coming along. So, all right, be right back. Okay, so shortly after turning off the camera last night, I was sitting there watching some videos, and it dawned on me that there were probably some modelers out there watching, and they were screaming, "Put some super glue on your screen!" And I didn't even think about that, so I did that. And after it dried, I basically used the originals as a template, and there we go. Now I'm going to try to get some fine wire around the edge of it, so I can use that. Oops, and drop it. And yeah, we'll see. Should look a little bit more realistic then. Okay, I'm going to get back to it. Alright, airbrushing has begun. I've got one coat on Canine's head here. Obviously you can see the primer through there. I need a little bit more paint in the brush. I'm almost out there. So I'm going to hear from the compressor there. I'm going to put the head down, get a little bit more paint in there, let this dry completely, and then work on the body a little bit here. Okay, got a decent amount of paint on both the body and the head. And let this dry a little bit and then go over it with another coat. Just trying to get more thin coats than one thick one. I hate running metallics through my airbrush, but sometimes it's a necessary evil. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, let it dry, and then come back for a little bit more. Alright, looking pretty good after the first coat. I have to do some light sanding, and the dog wants outside. But I just have to get in these some of these undercuts here, and let's see. Head looks pretty good. I still want to give it another coat, and we will take it from there. Okay, so we have a little bit more work to do on this head. I noticed that there was a nice big bulge after the paint had gone on. I didn't notice it that well with the or that much with the primer. So and also the first hole that I started to drill out, that was a little bit more a little bit evident on there, so I sanded that and put a little bit more putty over that. So in the meantime, what I'll do is I will go ahead and get some more gunmetal in the airbrush and start working on these undercuts. And once this is dry, I'll go ahead and put a little bit more primer on top of the head, and yeah, keep on going where we were. So this is all the things that can happen, so it's not a big deal. So just like Kermit and Fozzie were singing, moving right along, we've got the control panel taken care of there with some primed white for the so I can get some vivid colors on the buttons. The outsides are painted in black. I've got, let's take the head off here. I took the paint off of this side so I could get some more putty in that one where my droblet jumped. I've got another spot here. Just gotta clean that off there, smooth that out. I'm getting reflection because it's metallic, but I've got I sanded this down all the way down to the bare resin. Just got to put some primer on there again. A little bit of primer here, and then I will go ahead and repaint that. Then the head will be ready just for the I got to take a look at what kind of black I have. Not sure if I want to do just a flat black, or if I want to go to my my go-to Tamiya, that NATO black that I like. I'll look at some reference pics on K9. I think it's just straight black. But I'll take care of that. The ears look like almost like mesh lollipops. Let's see, you can get them so where you can actually see them there. There we go. Those will fit in nicely. And let's see, the collar's right here. I'll get that out of the way. And then for the buttons on top, I'm actually going with a YouTube video. It's the K9 restoration project from PB Props. The builder here, Anthony, he's got some really good close-up pictures. I'm gonna check out my look at it on my tablet because my screen is burnt here, so I want to make sure I got the right colors. I will just follow that. The monitor here, I have to do the outside in black, and then that screen insert that I have, I'll do that in a light gray. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start working on all that stuff, and we'll be right back. Alright, so a few things that happened off camera. I just went ahead and sprayed some primer on the two surfaces that are going to get repainted. I painted his emblem there. I didn't have aluminum, so I used silver. I'm going to put a second coat on that. And I painted the outside of where the monitor is here. And I'm about to take off the maskall. Get that taken off there. And the compressor's going. Wants to make sure you know that he's here too. Okay. A couple spots that bled through, but I can touch that up, no problems there. Alright, liking it. Yep, just gotta get a little bit there. It looks like the left a little bit of a mark there, but I can buff that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get another coat of the silver on here, and take that off there, and get back to dry brushing this guy, or not dry brushing, airbrushing. And dry brush, probably dry brush the lenses there with some highlights after I get done painting them red. So, all right, back to it. Oh. Gotta look at the camera. There we go. Boom. Okay, so here is a life lesson in why you should pay attention and have a clean workspace. I started working, let's see, he's kind of blue tacked on here. Whoop. There's another lesson. Know where your stuff is at. So I started working on getting another coat of gunmetal on the top of his head and the side of his head, and I realized I was trying to figure out why it was taking forever to get him painted up, and everything looked like it was a little bit lighter. Let me turn off the compressor here, and it's off. Okay, so, and release the pressure. Yeah, instead of gunmetal, I grabbed oily steel. So that's my dumb butt right there. So I'm just going to let that dry. It's a metallic. It's not going to hurt anything. It just wasted time. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and let that finish up there. Let it dry and come back to it with the right color. And before I do that, I'm going to put away the oily steel. Gone. And get the gunmetal ready. Take two. Alright, so we have control panel painted in. What I did was I just kind of lined up the colors with my reference picture there. And yes, the button and the right there, that is, yep, that is white. I used a combination of different paints, some GW Citadel color paints, some Vallejos, yes I say Vallejo, no offense, and the orange. I used my all-time favorite orange, the Tamiya X6. Love, love, love it. This is the paint that I'm going to use for my Hawk, my Space 1999 Hawk. Plus I love the smell of Tamiyas. So I'm going to let those dry. I'm going to go ahead and give them each a little brush gloss coat. I'm not going to gloss coat the entire piece or give it a finish. I've watched Vince on his hobby cheating videos, and he says do not varnish your metallics. Don't give them a matte, a gloss coat. I don't know why, but I'll tell you what though, you see his work and the man knows what he's talking about, so I'm going to leave it at that. The emblem, I keep on hitting his head over here. Emblem came out good. I did have to do a little blending around it. The view screen here, I just have to paint it and pop it in there. And yeah, he's almost done. Not sure if I mentioned it. I think I did, but the bumpers here, these are going to be that NATO black that I like so much. I'm going to do the neck ribbing on his head in just I don't have a gloss black, so I'll just do flat black and then just put a gloss coating over it. And then just a matter of just getting some red paint on his visor here. If you look at some photos, like close-up photos, there is actually a little bit of black on the insides of these, so I'll get that taken care of. And if you can see it there we go. Stay in frame, John. So I'll take care of that. Get his ears in place, his nose blaster. He's got some work to do. Then I have to get his tail in place. A lot of the reference photos I've seen with his tail, if you go straight up from his back, the tail ends at that point. So I will go ahead and get that done. But yep, like in the buttons, I don't think I have to go over them again. I think I did a decent job. I just gotta fill in a little bit of gunmetal right there where the red bled through. But yeah, I'll let this dry overnight, and then I'll get some gloss coating over the colors, and we'll move on to the next step. So, love the smell. Alright, a few updates. I'm working on the bumpers here. I tried it with the NATO black first, but it let's see. That's what it looked like right there. It's more of a charcoal looking color. So I just went with some matte black. What I'll do is after this dries completely, there's a couple spots here I need to clean up with the gunmetal. But after that, I will go ahead and give this a coat of satin. I do have the monitor screen in. That's taken care of, and yeah, after I get these the bumpers done, I'll go ahead and get the grab the head, and I'll get the neck rings painted up. After that, it's just a matter of getting the plastic piping in the ears, the nose laser, the eye. Actually, getting the eyes, or not the display, the whatever you call it, canine's eyes. Get that painted up, and just have to get the tail out. I looked at the old technical manual from the mid 80s, and it actually extends. Let's see here. Oops, gotta find something that's flat so I can do a complete 90 degrees. There we go. Take some epoxy. So if I hold it up flat, like flush right up to the base, it actually extends a little bit further out. So I'll go ahead and hot glue that in place. I'm going to use hot glue in case I want to ever change it, or if I can find like someone that prints off a tail that's a little bit more than just a spring. I'll go ahead and use hot glue with that just so I can heat it up again and pull that out when I need to. But that is where I am, and this guy's almost done. So I'm going to get back to the bumpers and get the neck rings painted up, and then after that I'll turn the camera back on so you can see a little bit more progress. But yep, he is almost done. Alright, so we are in the home stretch on K9 here. I've got the head epoxied on. It's all painted up there. I've got the, let's see, where is it at? His ears are there. Just waiting for the head to be stable. His optical sensor right there. I just have a clear coat on there. And I have to got to heat up the glue gun so I can put his boing tail on. Apart from that, I'm not going to glue the ears in. I'm just going to let them be loose in case I want to replace them sometime in the future. Nose laser's on. Let's see what else. I did a little bit of gunmetal cleanup. But yep, I'm gonna finish that up and get him up in some better light, and we'll see what he looks like completed. Alright, so it is a beautiful day today. We had snow a few days ago and now it's in the mid-60s. Welcome to Ohio. Canine is done. Like I said, I did not glue in the ears just in case down the road I want to change those up a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy the way he turned out. The tail, like I said, the old boing. I just hot glued that in place simply because if I come across another, either a 3D printed file that I could order from somebody or fabricate something myself, I'll do that. His little optical sensor that's taken care of. Nose laser. Collar was probably the biggest challenge, and yeah, so he's looking good. I mean, for a kit that I've had for years and years and years, glad that I was able to finally put them together and get them all taken care of. And this is, a lot of my Doctor Who friends have been waiting for this one to go up, so hey guys, I hope you hope you're satisfied. So I'm gonna go ahead and get him back in my collection and we will look at starting the next project. So I'm going to go through the standard YouTube verbatim. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any favorite canine episodes, yeah, share them in the comments. Oh, there we go. So we got from the Sevans models range. He is in scale with all the other Sevans models. I don't really want to put him next to Davros, but yeah, I'm happy with how he turned out. So I did not want to make this into a 3-part series, so I know this video is a little bit longer than the first one, but I did want to get him done. There we go. Alright, so thanks for watching. I appreciate it.